YouTube, we are starting another series. Oh my god, it's so soon. I'm a weirdo. You have learned this by now. So, you guys seem to like my Flower Girl series. Well, that's good, because this series is pretty much exactly the same thing with a twist. This time, it's gems and rocks, and instead of girls, it's boys. So, welcome to my Gem Boys. This is the first of my Gem Boys, and he is the only one so far who actually has like a literal, actual, vaguely human name, and it's a weird name, but I feel like it's wonderful. So he is based on a type of agate, I believe it's called, that had this lovely like red swirly texture that I just thought looked really cool, and I liked it. And for the particular model that I chose, I don't know why, but I felt compelled to draw this like sassy open mouth thing with like his tongue sticking out, and that's a really weird thing to want, but I wanted it really bad. So I did it, and I love it. Sorry, I'm still recovering from being a little sick. This is life. Life is a thing. Anyway, I have not finished my Flower Girls thing yet. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but in the meantime, you will have some Gem Boys, because I already have about half of them done. So, that's fun. I have a bunch of pre-recorded footage of my Gem Boys, and this one is Agathon, and I love him. I love him and his bold design feature, which is going to be a magnificent scarf. So I really wanted to play into the earthy tones that are in this gem by way of giving him like this deep tan skin, where it's not quite like what you would associate with like dark skin, but it's that sort of medium dark. Does that make any sense? Am I making any sense? I don't think I am. It's 4 a.m., so I don't think I'm gonna make sense. There is his fabulous scarf. Who wouldn't love that fabulous scarf? Answer is me. I don't really like wearing scarves unless I have to. I've never really worn a good scarf that I really like, because I find that they're either too hot or they're just kind of uselessly hanging there while I do things. Anyway, I'm in a mood. But I was so excited to pull a bunch of these rich, earthy colors and play with his skin tone and really make him just very interesting and have a very cohesive color palette. That's what I love about drawing from these natural sources, is that usually the color palettes are really cohesive and they work really well together because you're literally pulling them from nature itself. And we tend to associate most things in nature with being fairly cohesive. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just that person who associates nature with cohesion. But maybe that's as universal as I think it is. Time will tell. But I really loved like the rich reds and oranges, but obviously because it's a headshot and I can only use so many colors for his hair, I decided that I was going to put a bunch of those colors in his scarf as like stripes. And I was really excited about doing these stripes. But I was also really afraid of how these stripes would treat me, because I've had trouble with stripes in the past, and I'm trying really hard not to cough, so I'm sorry if that's causing some strain on my voice that you can hear. But honestly, I am so happy with how his mouth turned out, and I know that's maybe a weird thing to say, but like this whole open mouth, tongue sticking out thing is new for me, but I love it. It feels so funny to me, and like he's so sassy and he has a lot of character. So I'm happy overall with how this entire drawing turned out. But that mouth just really satisfies me, like on a level I can't even begin to explain to you guys. Because I had never tried anything like this. I had never tried an expression like that. So I was really just hyped to see how it would go and to see if I could do it. And I thought to myself, if it turns out like crap, that's what the series is for. That's what this series and the Flower Girl series has been all about. It's been about experimenting and doing things I don't normally do and drawing diverse faces just to go out of my comfort zone and draw things that I would never think to draw on my own. And that's the fun part about challenging myself to stick within a theme. And I don't know if you could hear my shoulder popping just now, but I would be completely unsurprised if my audio recorder actually picked that up. Ow. Wow. Ow. Alright, returning to topic. You can tell I don't edit my audio, because if I did, this would not be in the video. Anyway, I ended up really loving just how the shading turned out in general. Sometimes I am not very good at shading. I will admit that. Sometimes it's too smooth and it looks plasticky and weird, and sometimes it's too harsh and it looks, I don't know, too harsh. I don't know a better way to say that. But I think for this drawing, I managed to strike a pretty good balance. One of the things I notice about my art is that I tend to have a hard time connecting the face with the lips and making them seem like they flow together seamlessly. And I'm actually touching my face as I say this, as if that's somehow going to make a point when you can't see me. But I have a little bit of trouble with that, so that's something that I've been working on, and it's a little easier for me to do with lighter skin tones because you can just kind of mess with the opacity a little. And there are some drawings where it's better and some drawings where it's worse. And I think this one is not bad, but it's not the best that it could be as far as blending the lips with the actual face. But I love how the face turned out, and I love how the lips turned out. So I think that it's a pretty good balance of things turning out in my favor. So here I am adding that pop of orange to the scarf and that white from the rock to the scarf as these lovely stripes. And to make sure that all of the colors blended seamlessly, I did some tweaking to the shadow colors to make everything just lovely and coherent. And then I took a really textured brush type thing. I don't remember, it's like a sketch pencil, but I made it really big and it gave off this lovely almost knit texture, and I followed straight lines I followed where I would want the curves of the scarf to be to make it look like it's kind of knitted or crocheted, like it has some texture, and I think that was really fun and effective. Speaking of the eye highlights, I wasn't speaking of them, but they're on screen. I love the difference that a good eye highlight makes to a drawing. I will be looking at a drawing and going, why does something about this feel not right? And I'll be like, I haven't done the eye highlights yet. I may as well try it. And then I will add the eye highlights, and it's like it breathes such life into it because it makes it feel more tied into its environment. And it just adds a little bit of sparkle and vibrancy and aliveness. So, sorry. I love a good eye highlight. I've tried to record this voiceover so many times, and I just keep coughing, and it's my own fault, because I'm talking and making noise and being ruckus and everything, but such is life. This is me we're talking about here. I just don't even know you guys. Anyway, we are finally shading and messing with the shadows on the face, and with guys, I have a harder time figuring out the shadows for some reason. I feel like there's just something about the way a male face is, and I think it's probably just a psychological thing where I feel like I have an issue drawing guys, so I do. But one of the things that I know I have a problem with is shading darker skin tones, and this is on the lighter side of dark skin tones, but it's still darker. So I had a little bit of trouble figuring out the right contrast to make everything feel like it fit together. And the key for me is just really good highlights and shifting hues. That's something that I found to be really important, is that when I pick all of my different shadow colors, with shadows I tend to go a little redder, and with highlights I tend to go a little yellower, and I don't know if that's right, but that's what I do. And I don't always do that, not universally. It depends on the skin tone that I'm working with, but that's something I do fairly often. So if that's wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. So then I went back in and I added these red freckles all over his face because the reference that I was using had a bunch of these super densely packed freckles. And I thought they were so interesting to look at and just so totally unique to this drawing and to this reference that I wanted to incorporate them with all of my might. So I did, and I was really excited about how they turned out. Here, you can see I have a little bit of an issue where the lips feel very much like they stand out on the face at this point, so I had to do a lot of tweaking with colors, and as you see, I'm doing that here where I add a little bit of like the skin tone over that glaring pink to make it blend in more and make it so that the lips are less vibrant in your face. I'm wearing lipstick pink, which is not what I was going for with this character. There are some characters who are a little more androgynous. So far I've only drawn, I think, one that's really androgynous out of all of my gem boys, but it's not a look I was going for here. But here we are shading that mouth, and I'm so proud of it, I'm so excited, and I'm so excited for you guys to finally see the series because I've had some of these boys recorded for a while, and Agathon is one of them, and the rest of them you will actually get to name. So for the rest of them I plan, unless a name really strikes with me, I plan for you guys to name them. So I hope that you're excited for that because I am, and I'm going to leave it here. And I hope that you guys have a good morning, evening, afternoon, nighttime, time of day. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you're subscribed, which you should be, and you should turn on my notifications so that you know when I post a new video, because I post a new video pretty much every week, mostly on Sundays or Mondays, because I can be trusted to be consistent. I'm obnoxious and not consistent. I'm the worst version of Jazza. That's what we've learned today. Alright, y'all. That is all, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.